life. You got this. Go chase it, live your life. Enlighten you. Let the light shine through. Let the light enlighten you. Just see it through.
I'm Melissa Thrasher.
And I'm Lolita Cummings.
Welcome to Enlighten You, Eastern Michigan University's award-winning mental health podcast for students. Now that the academic year is over and it's finally nice outside, it is time to take your summer break to the next level. So today, we're going to devote this entire show to something we all need more of: self-care.
Oh my goodness, that's so true. Absolutely. And to help us get started, we're welcoming to the show Alexis Overland. Like many of you, Alexis is ready to shift into summer with her healthy self-care routines. She's a recent EMU graduate who is still feeling stress and anxiety from the academic year, as well as her future, and she's looking for ways to calm her mind and her body. We're also welcoming Dr. Aesha Mustafa, a licensed clinical therapist and an assistant professor in EMU's Department of Leadership and Counseling. Stay with us as Alexis shares her experiences and Aesha gifts us with techniques and strategies to navigate the stresses in our lives and to take better care of ourselves. Alexis and Aesha, welcome to Enlighten You.
So Lexi and Aesha, welcome to the show. And everyone notices I called her Lexi. We all know you as Lexi,
Yes.
so welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We're glad to have you. So I know that you had a busy last semester. I mean, you're on the dance team, always dancing, always with the great moves. And then you were also our social media intern, created great content on social media. And then you also interned with the athletic department doing social things for them
I
too.
did.
Want to speak on that?
Yeah, no, I helped them out with marketing. So there was some times where I got to MC some games. So you caught me on the court with the mic, and that was so much fun. And then there were some other times where I just did some little behind the scenes work and just filmed some stuff for the basketball team or baseball team. So that was a lot of fun.
So you've been busy.
I've been busy.
And I've always wondered, how do you balance it all? I mean, we didn't mention the academics that you have, that you're involved in,
Yes.
and then your work and just everything else. Can you talk about some of the stress that you dealt with this past semester and how did you manage it all?
Yeah, I can't lie. Going through my last semester, I'm also wanting to take it all in, and I just wanted to enjoy every single second, but also being busy. It's kind of hard to do that. So just trying to being able to balance it all was very important to me because it was the last time I was ever going to be around all of my friends dancing or interning and stuff like that. So I just wanted to try and make sure I could balance it all while also still having fun.
Could you describe some of the things that you did to balance it all?
Yeah, I love Google Calendar, and I also love any sort of calendar. I'm very big on self-care Sundays. I'll go through and I'll write everything that I have to do for that week on a sticky note that says Monday through Sunday, and then I put it up on my wall so then I can always just see it. And that helps me be able to visualize what I have to do for that week and then also find time to do the little things so I can hang out with my friends or spend time with my roommate and enjoy being a senior in college.
Nice. So all of that worked out well for you.
And it did. And I'm very happy it did. It took the 4 years to kind of get it down into a routine, but I feel like that's for any college student.
Yeah, that's great.
Good for you. You seem to have a pretty good handle on all this
Yeah.
self-care, which is great. Now that you've graduated, though, I mean, you've spent the last 4 years in school, very busy, very active, getting the most out of your college
Yes.
experience, which kudos to you for that.
Thanks.
But now, what are you doing, and is the future causing you any stress? So what are you doing with that?
Yes, so I've been going through the whole job application, GA position, what do I want to do post-grad, and I am leaning towards the master program and taking of a GA position.
Which one?
So I'm actually applying to Melissa's.
Okay.
It will be as a social intern, and then I'll also be helping out with swoop and the mascot. So crossing my fingers that leans my way.
That suits you perfectly. What
Thank
master's
you.
what master's program are you looking into?
So that's what I'm going through right now, is making that deciding factor, because there's a few different things that are calling my interest, but since PR specifically isn't a master's program, that's where I'm trying to figure out where I want to lean.
Yeah, but we do have the master's in the College of Business
Yes.
with the IMC program. Are
That's
you
the
interested
one
in
that
one?
I've heard a lot about from people. So
Yeah.
that's one of the ones I'm looking at. And then there's a few more media focused ones that are kind of calling my name.
Well,
but
I'm sure you when
yeah.
the time comes, you will make the best decision for you. I'm confident
Thank
of
you.
that. Aisha, is the stress she's feeling about this unknown future, is that pretty common?
Yeah, because I feel like the stress starts maybe junior year of high school. Oh, I have to start planning. Okay, senior year, and then you're about to graduate, and there's like oh my God, I'm finished with high school. And then, oh, I'm going to college, and there's the excitement, the transition, the belonging, figuring out your path. And then, depending on the student, maybe late sophomore year, like, okay, I'm feeling more comfortable. And then junior year is like, oh my God, I'm graduating
done.
here. And then senior year is like, I have to get to graduation. And some of my students are like, it's like, it feels so far away, even though it's a month, because they have all the things to do. And their family's like, what are we doing after graduation? You're like, I have 5 papers due, and I technically have not graduated. But then it's like, oh, but graduation means I'm done with school for this chunk, and so what I'm going to do with that. And so people often like, what are you gonna do next? And it can be a terrifying question, regardless if you're getting your PhD, associate's, or certificate. And so it's very common of like, oh, now I need to become
Whatever you're going into.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're so focused on this one goal, which is graduation, that we don't always think beyond that. I remember as a parent, I even had that kind of experience with when my son was graduating and getting him into this program and being so excited about that and not realizing that him getting into this program, which he did, would take him to New York. And like, then the other stress came, like, my baby's leaving. I didn't think about that, right? And so now, didn't think about that. So the same thing with you. Focused on graduation, but not necessarily what's next. And now you're at the what's next.
Exactly. And I swear it was just December, and I was like thinking about my portfolio and all of that. And then I'm like, oh, I'm done. Like, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Like,
It goes fast.
it goes so fast. And everyone said that coming into college, but it genuinely does, because you're not at the same school or school district for 8+ years. You're only here for 4 years, and you're doing so much in that time.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember having a conversation with you not too long ago about how your stress levels have changed, how you've learned to manage your stress from day one when you started college to now. So can you talk about how did the shift happen, and what do you do differently now?
So the shift happened over summer, because throughout the school year, your freshman year, you're learning so much about yourself. You're not with your family anymore. Everything's changing. You're doing everything for yourself. You're learning a lot, and you're also taking a full class load. Like, I was on the dance team, but a lot of other people have other extracurriculars that they're handling. And I just, sophomore year, going into that next year, I wanted to just reevaluate everything that I was doing and kind of what aspects of my life were causing me stress and what was pushing me to worry more and all of that. So I decided to take some time to myself and kind of look over what I did my freshman year, and having that time to do so allowed me the opportunity to go into sophomore year and actually enjoy the time, everything that I was doing. I wasn't as worried about, oh my gosh, I have 20 papers due next month. I was worried about the present and actually implementing myself and everything that I could that day. And that was very important to me.
I didn't know you were doing those things behind the scenes. I saw you stressed. I saw you stressed in class. But I didn't know you were doing those things behind the scenes. And then when I saw you today after a long break, I'm like, she's all grown up. She looks so relaxed. But you were putting in some serious work.
Yes,
right?
and you have to, because when you're going throughout a busy week, everyone's got so much that they're doing. Like, I'm working a 9 to 5, and then I go to practice, and then I go to sleep, and I wake up, and it's the next day, and I'm restarting all of those things. So that's why it's really important to have those days where you can reevaluate everything that you're doing and just sit back and be thankful for everything that you have in the moment and really be present. I'm very big on being present because
present.
I'm very stressful. I got anxiety a little bit. So making sure that I am present in every moment that I'm in has pushed me to really take in everything and be so grateful.
I love that gratitude in the present moment.
Thank you.
Aisha. So Alexis seems like she's really doing well with her self-care. But let's take a step back. Can you kind of define what wellness and self-care looks like for college students?
Yep. So we can link it, but through Rec I Am, they have a dimension, I think 8 wellness. So thinking occupational, intellectual, emotional, physical, environmental, all these different things. So how does your space at home feel? And then also, are you moving your body in a way that feels good? President Kelly talked about in our last episode about feeding yourself with food that gives energy. And so I love that he was very specific, not saying healthy, but like what gives us energy. And so all these things are culminating to wellness. And self-care means prioritizing yourself. And what does that look like? So yes, there's bubbles, bath, and massages, but also sometimes it's saying no and reducing the guilt that you said no to something.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh my God, that's a good one.
That was so hard to learn though, because as a college student, you want to hang out with your friends every time that you can, but learning that, I have to say no because I need to take some time to myself because I don't have any other time this week is so
It
important.
feels really bad sometimes. And so in the therapy world, there's something called IFS, internal family systems. So if you've ever seen the movie Inside Out, she has these different parts. And so with us, we have different parts. And so sometimes we feel bad, like I feel so bad I didn't hang out with my little cousin there in town, or only did it for 2 hours, but they're here for 8 hours, and all these things. And what we try to do is give grace to that part. Is we want to hang out with that person. We want to hang out with our friends and whatever it is, but also recognizing that there are other things that are important to us. And so that part serves us in some way. We shouldn't be mad at that part for feeling guilty because that part is telling us we love somebody. And so like that's a whole practice, because when you're feeling guilty, it just can be this whirlwind, but slowing down and thanking that part. So like I'll feel it in class of like, oh my God, I haven't graded quickly enough and I'm a bad teacher and all these things. And then thanking that part is I care about giving my students feedback.
That's good.
Like it's just, and that takes, I'm not always good at it because it's really hard, but then be like, I thank that part for showing up.
Yeah. Let's talk about that guilt for a second, because that can really ruminate and just take you and just spiral you down, right? Yeah. Just guilt, because all of a sudden that's all you're focused on. You're not focused on all those things that you feel like you did really well.
Right.
Just those things that you felt like you didn't do well. How do we get out of that?
Great question. So one of the symptoms of depression is excessive guilt, where like the tiniest things you're just like, I did this wrong, I messed it up. We all experience guilt. And I think underlying like what is causing that. And so trying to reframe it through, I feel guilt because of this, and that's okay. So giving yourself compassion, grace, or you are not the thing you're feeling guilty. This is just a part of you. It just popped up. You're not your thoughts. And that is a hard thing to recall.
Should we tell ourselves that out loud? Or is it?
You're like, what's up in the mirror, girl?
I'm just saying.
I mean, like asking for friends. What are we doing? How do we receive that? I mean, should I say Melissa? I'm just saying.
It depends on the person. So, I mean, some people need the saying out loud, maybe in the mirror, writing it down. Sometimes it's, I always forget what it's called. Something about a chair, but imagine like that person sitting there, you. And sometimes like, do you need to say it? For me, it's like a little Aesha. And it's not present day, I'm saying, is like being kind to yourself. And so that could be something that pops in your mind sometimes to do. It can be a practice, because sometimes the guilt sneaks up on us. And then all of a sudden, for myself, I realized, oh, this is a spiral of this whole thing. And then particularly depression, the guilt is, I can't do anything right. It's not just this area. All of my life is like that. And someone's like, it's okay, you couldn't come to my birthday because your grandma was having surgery, but you feel like a horrible person. And you're like, no one thinks this about you.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And something, it's just a reminder that, it's okay. It's okay to say no. So, Lexi, I remember a conversation we had not too long ago about how you view yourself now. And I thought these were wise words that you shared because you no longer compare yourself to others. And it took you a while to get to that point. What did you do in the beginning when you saw your friends doing different things and finally realizing that is their path, not mine?
Yeah, so like you said, it's practice. For me, it took a lot because especially being on a dance team where you're continuously comparing yourself to the other girls you're dancing with and they are your teammates. And then also just in life, you're watching all of these people and you're technically in the same major or minor as them. And you're like, oh, they have all of these other opportunities. Like, why can't I have that? But you have to remember and tell yourself, like, you're on a completely different path than them. Like, you have 20 other opportunities that no one else has been given. So be thankful for those and really tell yourself that you're grateful and be present. Like, not comparing yourself to other people is so important because everyone really is on your own journey. Like, even if you are in the same major as someone, half the time you're never going to go into the same career as them. And that one is a big one because your freshman year, you're not told that. So then you're like, oh, why does this person have like an A+ and I don't? Like, you're focused on your grade. And then you sit back and you're like, oh, well, I'm also balancing 3 other internships, a job, all of these other things. And you're like, let me stop comparing because I'm doing great for everything that I am being dealt with.
Good for you.
So-
Celebrate yourself for those things that you're doing instead of beating yourself up for those things that you aren't,
Yes.
that you think you maybe should be, but not necessarily.
Because when you get really busy, it's really easy to just get distracted by everything you have going on. And then you're never grateful for everything that you do have going on.
And be in the moment, like you
Yes.
said, with those things that you have. Common?
Yeah, it's definitely common. And so I think it's great advice to not compare yourself. And something I try, which is so hard in academia, because the way we're competing for grants, all these things, is to be happy for your colleagues and not see them as a threat. I think particularly in Western society is they have that, why don't I have that? And like, I'm better than them. But versus saying, I'm really excited you got an award versus why does someone not honor me? And like, and just thinking of like, we're a collective and like, I'm glad someone else is going into the field. So like, for example, my practice, we hire someone or offer someone a position, they take it elsewhere. I say, oh my God, I'm sorry you're not going to work here. I'm excited for that, but I'm so glad you're doing this work elsewhere. And the people will be like, oh my God, you're so cool. Because I'm like, I want you to do this really affirming work somewhere else, even if it's not here. And so trying to not take things personally. And like, again, it's a practice because we want the accolades, we want the grants and all the things, and also not seeing things as scarcity.
Absolutely.
It's important to look at it as a benefit for you too, because you're also networking with a person that has all of those experiences as well. And you can go to them for advice if you would like to do that yourself.
I'm so glad you both brought that up because it's a perfect example of Tiana Taylor at the last award show. When she didn't win an award, she was very enthusiastically cheering for those people who did win the award in the same category she was on. And people thought there was something wrong with her for that. That she was able to celebrate someone else who won something that she was up for, but she did. And I just thought that was amazing. That you can celebrate someone else. And just like you said, maybe there's networking. Maybe you're just happy for someone else's success.
Because you
Why
know
can't we
how
just do
hard it
that?
is. And like, that's
Yeah.
like the greatest honor.
It is. It is. It was amazing.
Yeah, you can't expect others to clap for you if you don't clap for them.
Oh, wow.
So that's
Right
a really
there.
big point.
Right.
Proud
there,
of you.
Alexis.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
That's good.
Wow. So, just thinking about some of the things that students can do in terms of wellness and, I love your wellness Sundays. I love that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But in terms of wellness and self-care activities, what can students do to practice that? I mean, is it buying Starbucks or listening to music? I'm sure it's something more. What are some things that students can do?
So sometimes it is buying the coffee. And for me, I try to reframe it as it's a treat and allowing myself to spend something that I don't have to have because I make iced coffee at home. And so it feels like loving myself to be like, Aesha, you have the salary to go spend $5 and not feel guilty. So for me, that is self-care to do those things. I think movement, if that's something someone's physically able to do. One time I sat in front of the lake house. It was just so lovely to just do that. Everyone knows I'm a fan of Tinker. And so that's just been a lovely community where recently we had left and Tinker had left, but the students were still sitting there. And just the wellness of the community they've built. And I'm like realizing like, oh no, I won't see them to the fall. And that's something that's free, you know, coming on campus to different events, checking out the different newspapers of what's coming on, what's happening at Ipsy Ann Arbor. That can be, for me, like connection is really important. Also sometimes just going to a cafe. Last weekend I went to a cafe with my husband. We read, didn't talk, had a hot cocoa, and I also colored. Like it was just like, but still feeling connected. And so I think wellness just looks so different. I also know for myself, it ebbs and flows depending what's happening in the semester, what age my kid is. Like I still have the guilt of like, I shouldn't get massage this weekend because she's 2 and she's in daycare all day. And I only have that. And it's like, also, I can go get an hour and 15 massage. It will be okay. And I think it depends on the person. For me, it's like prioritizing myself and knowing that I have to fill my cup up first.
Yeah, I love that. How do you know that you're doing it right? Like, is there a feeling of relief?
Euphoria.
Yeah, like how do you know I'm putting the right practices?
I think there is
In the
no
play.
right. And if I'm going back to like internal family systems, is knowing that part of wanting to be right is that you want it to be effective, you want it to feel better. Because sometimes we're very caught up in like, is this the right way? Does this make sense? And rather than, I think some people will say like, you need to stop thinking things are right. Like that's a bad thought to have, is you want to feel better. I think you have to play around with what works. Like you had said, like your routine. Sometimes for me, it's going to sleep. And somehow I was like in bed at 10, like rushing to bed. You know, in the last month, I was like, I need to set an alarm at 8 to start winding down. I'm 37 and I'm like, I got to set an alarm to go to bed because otherwise I keep doing different things. Sometimes it's a slow morning and like I made my bed today. That happens like 4 times a year. And like that felt really good to have a clean space. And so sometimes the very micro things, it doesn't have to be necessarily these huge practices because we always want, you know, new year, new me, everything's changed. I'm going to work out for 4 hours and all that. And sometimes it's, hey, maybe I don't Zoom from the meeting that's happening in the library and I'm in Porter. I walk there. And
Being
again,
present.
yeah, something like that.
Those are good. Those are good. You have some more for us, though. You
Yes.
brought us gifts
I
and toys that we
did.
can share so that
Oh,
others
yes.
have specific activities that they can do.
Exactly. So what I love about Bubbles is incredibly cheap. So this is like a huge packet from an online store. I don't know, $40 for like 400 bubbles. And so for me, bubbles are playful. They remind me of childhood. And so my toddler loves bubbles. My dog loves bubbles. Something I do in class is with bubbles. And so these little stickers here, bubble breathing, can be put on water bottles, back of your laptop. And so they come from my business integrative empowerment group. And what it's about is inhaling deeply while you breathe the bubbles. So you can just blow bubbles and have fun. Maybe you notice as the bubbles move around, you track different bubbles, and that can help bring you back to the present. Or even you notice that, hey, I have all these problems. Let me think of these bubbles as problems. The bubble, like 99.99% will never last in the air. It's going to pop. And there's also just the smiling of like bubbles is so childlike. And I think we can all do a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
And so I encourage folks
They're
to do
just
bubble
fun.
breathing. Yeah, they're just fun.
Right?
I love bubbles personally.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I
something we
haven't
do
done
in my
this in
class
years.
to like ground out. So last year, the last day of class, they're like, could we do our activity outside? So we're just blowing bubbles outside. And it's just fun.
And you're right. I mean, it's not just seeing the bubbles that are whimsical and all. You have to take a deep breath in. You have to breathe deeply to be able to produce the bubbles. And that's therapeutic.
Yes, it is. It's making me feel really nice.
I know. And the breathing. I know.
Any other activities, breathing activities or anything else?
Yeah,
You gave us another
exactly.
sticker?
So another sticker is called box breathing. So this is an inhaling for 4 seconds, holding it for 4, exhaling, and then making a box. So you can always YouTube a clip where it's just literally you can watch the box. And that feels important to see the visual. And so if you like to, we can do it now, and it only takes 16 seconds.
Yeah. So breathing is really central.
The breathing is something that is always with you, and something that you in general can control. So returning it back to the state. So if you're in a meeting, you're sleeping, whatever, you always have your breath with you. Because sometimes we're like, oh, I forgot the fidget toy. Oh, my friend's not picking up. You always have your breath, and it's yours. It doesn't belong to anyone else. And so what you'll do for this again is the inhale for 4 seconds. So the top of the box. Exhale for 4 seconds. Inhale for 4 seconds. And then exhale for 4 seconds. And sometimes also folks like to imagine, like for me, sometimes like a sunrise, and then I'm at a mountain, then down. Like you can do all the fancy imagery or just breathe.
Yeah.
for 4 seconds, 4
No,
seconds in,
that's
4
good.
seconds out. Yeah.
That's good. Is that something that, because routines are important. You have routines. Routines are important. Is that something that we should incorporate into our routine? Or first of all, how important are routines? And do you have specific activities that can easily fit into someone's routine?
Yes. I love a good routine. I listen to podcasts about routines. I love like a good morning. I just like the greatest, like a get ready with me video of routines. And so some folks, they need a very structured routine. I eat the same thing for breakfast, yada, yada, yada. And some people are like, that's boring. But for them, it's regulating of, I don't have to make a decision this morning. I know this is maybe going to give me the energy for the day. So like I said, some people are very like,
That's me.
yes, I can imagine like you're at the gym at a certain time, and if you're 5 minutes late, someone would be like, hey, where are you? Do people do that for you? Like that? Yeah. And other people, they need some things that anchor. So particularly if someone has like ADHD, attention deficit disorder, or hyperactivity disorder, it may be, I just keep one thing that centers me. And it's overwhelming to be all this micromanaging because you may not get to be the impulsive person you want to be. And so for me, I have my coffee every morning. It's while I'm getting my toddler dressed. It's like giving myself grace that the time of my life is not to sit down and read a book. And oh my God, it's just like pour it together. But that's just every day. There's something I hold on to. And I know that that's going to happen every day. And so I think figuring out for ourselves what that looks like, and every season is different. You know, being a student, summer is very different. Fall's different. December's different. January's different. April's different. You know, there's like, I feel like 2 sweet spots of like, okay, there's a rhythm. And then as our bodies age, maybe, you know, you'll get there, you know, like things. Yes.
Dance has pushed me.
Yeah, this
so
is true.
I'm like,
This is true.
I'm gonna-
Things shift where it's like, oh, maybe I should stretch in the morning now. And, you know, as I gotten older, it's like sleep is a whole thing of like, I got to have apps and this and that and start an hour and a half beforehand and like figuring out what's calming to you.
Because for me, I don't allow myself to leave my bedroom until I go through a 20-minute stretching routine every single morning. I get up, I make my bed, brush my teeth, wash my face, turn on the TV, and then it's 20 minutes of stretching. Because again, as you get older, your body gets stiff while you're sleeping.
And by say older, in your 30s. So it's
I mean, hey, once I stop dancing, I'm
try
probably
doubling
gonna
that
do
because I mean, and if I give myself that, if I have that gift for myself, my body will give me what I need the rest of the day. If I don't, I'm gonna know it, and it's gonna be angry. Then I'm gonna be angry, and it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a difficult day. So it's worth it. You know, but everyone, like you said, everyone's needs are different. Their level of structure is different. So finding out what works for each of us is good.
especially if you have a life that just every day is very, very, very different, and maybe your sleep schedule is changes based on what time your class is, and figuring out what's the one thing that can be consistent that you know is going to happen. And sometimes that's breathing because you have to breathe, but maybe you're intentional while you do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, Lexi, I know community is very important to you.
Yes.
And you have a strong, supportive community around you. So, with school over and you're looking ahead, how will you connect with your friends that you've left behind?
Oh, left behind is so sad. I'll definitely still be keeping in touch only because I am only an hour away. So it's not too far, but I'm going to continue to reach out. I've talked to other alumni in a sense, and we're going to come back to the games when we can, on especially homecoming or just making sure that we support our team for my post team moving forward. Oh, it's so weird to say, but yeah, and even other connections that I've made, like random church friends or just classmates, stuff like that. There's random times where I'll see them posting on Instagram that they have this amazing opportunity, and I always slide up and I'm like, great job, like I'm so happy for you. And I think little things like that are really important because it's still showing that you care and you will want the best for that person, even if you don't always have the time to have like a 30-minute phone call with someone.
How has community helped you?
Oh, so much. I feel like I haven't gotten anywhere where I am. I feel like I haven't gotten where I am today without my community, and that's very strong, even from different opportunities that I've gotten dance-wise, where I've gotten to go to bowl games, where I've been able to perform at different community events, or just even my internships. I feel like with athletics, since I've had those connections where I go up to people and just ask them how their day is going, it allowed me to get that opportunity, which is very important because growing up, you're never told about how important networking is, and having people that you can go to talk to about things moving forward. And just if you're ever stressed, having someone, a mentor to go to is very important. There's a professor at Eastern that I used to have, Gabby. She is just absolutely amazing.
Shout out to Dr. Gabrielle Burgess-Smith.
Shout out to her because genuinely, there was a time where I needed to go to her about an interview, and I went and met her, and I just got to get a whole reevaluation of everything that she does on a daily basis, and it's actually crazy. But she also finds the time to help me with everything that I need. If I need time for her to look at my resume, she'll sit there and look at it, or my portfolio, or if I just have questions about what she thinks would be best for me moving forward, or her input, she'll sit there and give that to me. And having a relationship, whether it's a professor, a classmate, a friend, a family member, having those things and people you can talk to is incredibly important so you can keep growing moving forward.
Absolutely. Good. You know, Lexi is a social person, and so she's made these connections. And even Dr. Kelly, President Kelly, mentioned on our last episode how important community was to him and staying in touch. How important is it, and how can students who are not quite as social create community and use that to their benefit?
Yes.
Because we all need it, right?
Yes, exactly. So community is incredibly important, and it helps reduce isolation. And so with suicidal thoughts, folks often feel isolated. No one's going to miss me, no one, yada, yada. And so having these people around you. I think sometimes the term community can be overwhelming. Like, it doesn't mean you have this whole posse that you're doing all these things, but just feeling like you belong somewhere. And so what I love about some of the work coming out of the Office of Access and Opportunity is low stake things. I have to think what the program is called, but doing like video game nights and different activities that maybe video games is something folks can use because they don't have to talk, but it's a way to, maybe it's called game mode, pair up, something like that, you know, different things that can be helpful. Or maybe there's Coco and connections that they may have, and it's just like, grab a hat and cocoa, and like, you don't have to do anything, but I think the fact that there's structured events, as you know, I love my girl Tinker, and the fact that it's planned, that was a specific thing that they did, is have it in places that students often go, so the library and Marshall building, but students can pop in. It's a very low stakes, and I know students there by name, and I'm like, hey, how are your classes? Oh my God, what do you do this summer? And so like, those are my community, and if someone's not there, I'm like, where were you last week? And they'll notice that I'm not there, where they'll ask Alexis Brown Marks, like, I'm so sorry you're sick, Aesha wasn't here. Like, we show up for each other, and it just happened to be a thing. And so I think there's different pockets. It doesn't have to be you go to Eagle Fest and these really big events. It could just be hanging out in the hub in the Office of Access and Opportunity. You don't have to talk. There's food. Like, you just do you.
Show up. Yeah, just
so
show
I think
up.
it's a great space.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect segue into our next question about what one small thing can a student do to incorporate self-care. What kind of advice would you give to students?
Small thing. Oh.
And something they can do today.
I think there's like the mental piece, and then like making like, I don't know, more of a physical action. So one is just giving yourself grace that you're doing your best. And sometimes your best may mean you didn't brush your teeth, you didn't shower, you didn't feed yourself. Like, you're doing your best. No one's like intentionally trying to do bad. And I think the other piece that if we're trying to move more actions ways is like feeding yourself. And I don't mean feeding yourself healthy, whatever things, just putting food in your body and water. Like, you deserve basic needs of water and food.
That resonates with you?
Yeah, I'm a big foodie. I love just trying different sorts of food and finding comfort in that, because you're going to eat anyway, so might as well have fun with it and just try different things, and also just use that as an opportunity to make yourself happy and feel good.
That is good.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
just
good.
the very small things. Like, in a great way, it'd be great to eat and not do homework or distract yourself, but just eat. Just like, the bar is so low. I just want folks to put food in their body and water.
Yes. That's good advice.
That is good advice. We only have a little bit of time left. Aesha, can you give us some resources? I mean, students are going to be off for the summer. If they find themselves in trouble, what can they do? Where can they go?
So for CAPS, Counseling and Psychological Services, I believe folks can have sessions over the summer if they're going to be enrolled in the fall. The Community Behavioral Clinic is open to folks, even if they're community members, and then the counseling clinic as well. And then if folks find that those are not options, or they're graduating and like looking for different things, they can always look on Psych Today, which is a nationwide database where you can put in your zip code, what you're looking for, and or my practice at integrativeempowerment.com, and we take most insurances. And with getting a therapist is like finding that fit. Like, sometimes it's like, this person's cool, but I feel like I'm talking to a friend, or I feel like I'm talking to my mom, and it's like nothing bad about it, it just brings up things. And so my girl and I, we're going on 9 years. I know, we're going on 9 years. I love my girl. So see her tomorrow. And so I think just figuring out what works for you in this season.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one question related to that, and then we got one more question. What helping students to manage their expectations with a therapist? What would you say?
Yes, a therapist isn't going to tell you what to do. Yes, there's some cases where we're like, cut it. Like, you don't drive under the influence. Like, we're not even gonna like, I mean, there's times like, hey, let's explore that, but also like, this is problematic. Your therapist isn't your friend, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because I have clients like, you're my friend. I'm like, they know we're not friends, but like, we care deeply. Like, I love my clients. They know I love them. I've said like, I care about you. Therapy doesn't mean you're crying every session. And sometimes I have clients that cry, but we're also laughing in the same session because that's what shows up. I think other things like therapy, you get to have a voice in what you want it to look like. If your therapist is like, hey, I think I want to read this book, you can say, no, it's not your professor. Like, I don't want to read a book, or I have 3 minutes, and like, you're setting the goals you want. Like, we may encourage like, hey, what if the goal looked differently? But you get to say no. And so that could be hard for folks in that space to be like, this is what you want. I'm like, what do you want to talk about? Like, well, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? It's like, no, even for me, my own therapist, I'm like, hey, how are you? And she's like, good. And then that's it. And I'm supposed to talk. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so therapy can look how you want it to look. And certain people are for good fits for different parts of your life.
Thanks for sharing that, because a lot of students who've never been to therapy may not, may be afraid of it for whatever reason, and may not know what to expect when they get there, or may have unrealistic expectations one way or another. And now you've just let them know what therapy is, what it is, and what it can do, what it can't do, and what the therapist is likely to do or not likely to do. So thank you. Let's end on one piece of our favorite self-care. What do we do for ourselves that we love? It can be big, it can be small.
Mine's my self-care Sundays. Like, I love a good reset, being able to redo all of your laundry, just open a window, clean everything, write everything you have to do for the week, just take times, and everything shower steamers. I love shower steamers. Everything like that, it's really important to me.
And those are small things, but they mean so much to you.
They mean so much. Having one day to do that will just change my entire week. I'm like, I'm ready to tackle anything.
Yeah. And you get to look forward to it, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think on like the materialism side, like buying flowers,
Oh,
Trader
that's cute. Or
Joe's,
those
just something
flowers.
like especially bright stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this made my day for $4. I think bigger things is being gentle with myself that, oh, I'm behind on something. It's like I usually have a lot going on. That's okay. And if I didn't have a lot going on, it's okay. And so I don't have that like put into my routines, except for I have therapy every week. I see my psychiatrist. Right now we're at 6 weeks because it's been a little rough semester. So, and other times it's every 3 months. And so like that feels like self-care is making sure the whole wellness team is on board.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
I
So
feel like I'm the same as you.
yeah,
everything you're
nothing's wrong
saying.
with that. Nothing's wrong with that. So I'm like Lexi. I do like to have a clean home, but outside of that, I look forward to my weekends where I can just unwind, watch mindless TV. And sometimes I just like a good pedicure and a manicure. And
Your nails are always so nice. Always so nice. Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank
always.
you.
Yeah.
I love to visit with my esthetician to get the eyebrows done. So I like stuff like that that makes me feel really, really good inside. So
Because you're taking care of your body. Because I think a lot of people will put down like, oh my God, you get your nails. Like you're taking care of your body, and that feels good to take care of yourself.
yes, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
Mine is seasonal, probably. Around this year, Starbucks has lavender cold foam, and oh my gosh, I will get a pink drink. Here's my drink. Here's my order: a pink drink, a venti, a big one, pink drink with light ice and lavender cold foam. And when I tell you that's like a party in my mouth, that's my self care.
I have a gift card. I might have to go to Starbucks because I don't really drink tea
Yeah.
nor coffee.
Oh, it's
but
fruity.
oh, that
Yeah,
sounds
like
good.
the acai
There's something that they
refreshers.
changed the pink drinks at Starbucks.
Oh, did they?
I just looked it up like
may
literally
be
yesterday.
wrong.
Don't
They
mess
have-
with perfection.
Yeah.
They're
They're like a
everyone is
fruity,
saying.
I think
That's
there's
like
some,
the
like,
whole, like, the whole
Energy.
Caffeine in it, but not like energy drink, and it's like pink with like coconut milk and freeze dried strawberries. Yeah.
They only have lavender for a certain part of the year.
Okay.
They have it right now. The lavender cold foam on top, girl. When I tell you,
I have to try.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So good.
Okay, that'll be
That's
on my
it.
list.
Thank you so much for joining us, Alexi.
for having me.
Congratulations on your graduation. I hope you will. Well, I hope you will do what's best for you. But if you decide what's best for you is coming back for graduate school, then maybe we will still see you. But whatever you decide to do, we know you're going to be successful, and we wish the very best for you.
Thank you. That means a
Very best for you.
lot.
Yeah, thank you. I can't believe we're at the end of another season. We have another one coming up, but in the meantime, we have some techniques to use to take care of ourselves.
Oh my gosh, we covered a lot of ground, and I cannot wait to put some of these techniques in action because Lord knows we all need it.
We need them. We do.
Yes. So that's all we have for today. As always, it is our hope that the show truly has enlightened you and that it makes your life and your mental health better. And remember, rest and self-care are not just something you try to fit into your schedule. They are a necessity. So it's something you prioritize and practice daily.
That is so right. I'm certainly making a commitment to ramping up my self-care routines, and I hope you will too. Well, we're at the end of another season of Enlighten You. It's so hard for us to believe that we've been doing this for 3 years now. We have enjoyed creating this podcast for you, and we certainly hope you have enjoyed it and benefited from it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in September for season 4 of Enlighten You. Y'all be good to one another, be good to yourselves, and we'll see you soon.